Well, hello, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on LinkedIn Live and in YouTube. And if you are watching the replay, thank you so much for taking the time. Well, I want to start today with some real talk. Nobody cares about your 12-week coaching program. And before you all get mad at me, let me clarify. They care about the transformation that your program will help them achieve in those 12 weeks, right? A common mistake that I see people make when they are writing copy for their sales pages or for their promotional posts, or even how they just talk about their offers, is leading with features rather than the transformation. And today on Built by BIPOC, business tips and mindset shifts, we're going to talk about transformation versus features and why only talking about the features is costing you sales. So my name is Carissa Begonia. Thank you so much for joining. I am a business coach for BIPOC entrepreneurs, a LinkedIn sales and marketing expert and top voice. As a second-generation Filipino-American daughter of immigrants and the first and only in my family to start my own business, I deeply believe that entrepreneurship is a catalyst for equity and that designing our lives is the path to liberation. And at Conscious Exchange, we're creating an ecosystem and a movement where BIPOC entrepreneurs can exchange ideas, words, energy, services to achieve time, location, occupational freedom, and financial freedom. On Build by BIPOC, we're really creating this inspiration and opportunity for ourselves, our families, and our communities to thrive. And in this series, Business Tips and Mindset Shifts, I share common answers to questions and tips to avoid or fix these mistakes I often hear entrepreneurs make. So thank you so much for joining me today. All right, so let's get into it. Transformation versus features. What's the difference? So when you are sharing a transformation, you are really bringing awareness to a problem that your ideal client is experiencing, so they can really get a clear picture of how they can go from point A to B or point A to Z as they join your program. And when you're talking about features, on the other hand, you're just naming things like logistics, structure, timing, etc. But none of those points really speak to how they will fix the problem that they need help with. So for example, when I'm asking someone about, hey, tell me what your offers are, a common response will be, well, I've got this 6-month program and, we meet on Tuesdays at noon and you get this weekly coaching call and you can have this private Slack channel in between the calls, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're listening to that, right, does that kind of tell you anything? You're like, oh, okay, cool, right? That's nice, right? It's not really, again, speaking to what am I going to get out of this call or out of this program? What are we solving for? What are we going to do in those weeks? What are the deliverables that we'll create together? And what ultimately am I going to expect when I walk away at the end of my time with you? So if you really want to learn how to bring in clients rather than, taking these sales calls and wondering why like they say thanks, come again, right? Stop talking about the features and talk about the transformations. So Chris, you're gonna ask me like, hey Carissa, well, how do I do that? And there's three main things I want you to do when you again are writing the copy or you're speaking about your offers. And I want you to name the tangibles. So 3 tangibles. 1, the tangible problem, what they say, how they feel currently. I say add in the how they feel because that's important, but more importantly, I want you to talk about, okay, what is the thing that they're saying is a problem. So for example, someone might come to you and say, hey, I want to quit my racist job. Or do you, like, maybe you say to them like, hey, are you experiencing something where you want to quit your job, right? But you might be struggling between your family and your own mental health. And you're kind of debating that, right? That's a tangible problem that a client might be sharing with you. Tangible desires. So now what do they want instead, right? What do they want to stop happening or what do they want to have them start happening instead? Again, also adding in how do they feel? How do they feel currently and what do they want instead, right? So for that same example, maybe what they're sharing is that they want to start looking for a job, but they can't really find time in between taking care of their elderly parents and their young children. And they're just exhausted from when they come from work and exhausted again by the idea of even having to do a job, like doing some job searching at the end of the day, right? Especially during a tough market. Right? So those are very tangible things that they're saying that they might want. And so repeating that back to them. And then the third part is the tangible outcome. Okay, so what does success look like when they work with you? How do you know? What are those deliverables, the solutions? What do they say they want at the end of this, right? How do they want to feel at the end of this? And so, what solution are they telling you that they need? So, for example, with that same person, maybe they want accountability and a starting point, or they'd love to have interviews lined up, 3 interviews lined up in the next month, and a path, say, to leaving their job in 3. Right? That's a very tangible outcome that they might be asking for that you can help provide them with. And one thing that I want to share with even my life coaches who are watching, right? You also can create tangibles. Maybe what you provide somebody with is, yes, clarity and, confidence, but through what? Through what tool? Through what new practice did they learn, right? Those are tangible outcomes and things that they will walk away with to get to that clarity and to that confidence. One extra thing I also want to highlight here and make y'all aware of is sometimes we're to be careful of projecting what we think people need on top of them versus what we say. As coaches and consultants, we have the wisdom, right, of what they might be saying and the deeper thing that's behind that. But that's not what they're asking for. So if you're telling them like, hey, Carissa, we're going to help you with self-love and such, and that's why you're struggling with leaving your job and prioritizing yourself over, the obligations to your family. I'm like, I didn't ask for that. Maybe that is exactly what I need, but I didn't say that, right? And so you're going to lose me if you don't actually name the thing that I want. And for sure, maybe we do some self-love stuff, and that comes up during our coaching, like our coaching container. But in the sales part of the conversation, I'm not interested in hearing things that I don't know that I need or want yet. All right. So those are the 3 ways to share the tangibles and share the transformation rather than your features. Another thing I want to share about, what are some things to think about when I'm wanting to share those tangible transformations. So I'll give you some tips here. Like, one is to understand your ideal client's pain points. So identifying, like I said, those specific problems and the challenges that your audience faces, right? So you can really tailor your messaging to address those issues directly. You're really creating that relatability because you're using their language. They're saying what they want, right? In the way they say it, okay? You to highlight the end result. So being able to really clearly articulate again that outcome at the end of what your offer and service will provide. So again, focusing mostly on those benefits rather than those features. One way you can do this is, if you've ever heard of the exercise called the 5 whys, where you dig in, you ask why 5 times. So you really can dig into what a problem might be versus the surface level thing that sometimes our clients will come to us with. 3 is using emotional language. So connecting to your audience with the feelings that they're experiencing is important. I didn't say not to, just to be clear, I did not say to not share feelings, but a lot of times I'll see clients or my clients will just talk about the feelings, right? They won't talk about the tangible. So I just want to caution you in doing that. Number 4, share success stories. So any kind of testimonials, case studies, any way that you can really showcase these real life examples of real people who have experienced this transformation that you are providing with your services. And that really helps to build that credibility and the relatability. One very specific way to do that, I would add to your testimonials and your asks for that are your before and after comparisons. So what was someone experiencing before they came to me, and how are they feeling now? And then lastly, you can use your own examples. You can paint a vivid picture of how they're going to go from A to B or A to Z, right? With your own stories, with your own experiences. So don't discredit your own storytelling here, because that really can be very powerful for highlighting the transformation as well. Okay, so that's what I got for you. I hope those tips were helpful. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. But while we're waiting, if you really want to dig into some of the reasons that you might be experiencing like slowness in sales or clients not converting on the calls, then I have a free workshop coming up, solving the root cause of your LinkedIn lead gen problem. And I'd love for you to join. So just DM me for the link to register. All right. So I'm like waiting for questions, but I'll start with one question that I often get, or pushback maybe, or is, hey, Carissa, I know that I understand the transformation part of this, but don't people need to still know what's included? Don't they need to know what the features are? 100%. People need to know the start date of your cohort. People need to know what they're getting. So I'm not saying do not include your features. I'm saying don't only show that and don't lead with that, right? But when even you're deciding or wanting to share those features, you can still turn those features into benefits that tie to the overall transformation that they want. So one thing that I often ask myself when I'm writing the copy for, say, sales pages and or my promotional posts, for example, are so what or so that, right? So I offer a one-on-one coaching calls so that you get personalized experiences. Like we can talk about your personal or your specific issues and work through that, personalized attention, right? So you can turn any feature into a benefit by asking yourself, like, so what? Like, so what does that matter? So what that I have one-on-one coaching calls, right? Well, so that you can, okay? We'll give you a few more examples of this. One, you want to, again, explain the impact of your goals. So if your feature is a monthly one-on-one call with a co-coach, like I said, the benefit is that you get personalized support and really can dig into your specific business and know exactly how to price and package your offer. Right. Two, really highlighting convenience, ease, time, money savings. Everybody wants that, right? So a feature here might be, you have a self-paced course instead of a cohort. Well, the benefit here is, so that you can really learn at your pace, protect your peace, feel that you can actually move things forward with 5-minute lessons that can help you build your business consistently and sustainably. So number three might be stressing the reliability and trust with your clients. So a feature here might be, a feature is of mine actually, is that when you join my programs, for example, you're in a community of BIPOC entrepreneurs. And the benefit of that is just feeling this relief that you can be in a space with people who look like you who just get it. Right. And because you're in that comfortable space, then you'll feel more open to asking questions, like harder questions or real questions that you have, right? And not shy away from them. Four is focusing on that user experience. So one feature here might be Slack support in between calls. And the benefit is just this peace of mind that you can always get help when you need it. Maybe you're going into the sales conversation, you're nervous and you're like, what do I say? And you can, ping your coach and through Slack, and you'll get some feedback, right? Or you get some support there. And then lastly, number five is really demonstrating your competitive advantage. So a feature here might be providing a LinkedIn content calendar with prompts and post outlines. And so that, right, the benefit, so that you can stand out in a crowded market with all these tools and templates that really help you find and attract warm leads easily and consistently. So that's what I got for you. Like, when you are able to share your features, but the benefits of those features consistently, your customers and your clients really start to understand what the overall transformation is. And you make your offers just more compelling and relevant to their needs. All right. Well, that's a wrap for me, y'all, today. Thank you again so much for joining me on Built by BIPOC, business tips and mindset shifts. And if you have any more questions, feel free to drop those in the DMs or the chat. And if you want to really dig in, again, into your sales, find out why they're not converting, how you can get more clients, then please join me in my free workshop, Solving the Root Cause of Your LinkedIn Lead Gen Problem. And all you got to do is just DM me and I'll send you the link to register. All right. Thank you again so much for joining. I'll see you next time, and cheers to building our liberatory futures together. Bye.